Hi, everyone. Hope you're wherever you are, you're safe and healthy, and finding things to keep your mind occupied during this weird time. I was asked originally on this Wednesday evening to come to our Lenten worship and share the Bethune story of why we are at Trinity, and so I hope this video version will suffice for now. Our story is actually really simple of why we're at Trinity. We're moving from Pennsylvania to Colorado, and I was feeling a tug towards entering youth ministry and wanted to do that in an ELCA setting. There was only one ELCA church hiring in Boulder County at the moment, and it was Trinity. And I was fortunate enough to apply and be offered the position and accept it. And that is why we're at Trinity in a nutshell. We pass two other ELCA churches on our way there, so I thank God every day that that opportunity came, because I don't know that we would have found Trinity otherwise. We might have stayed somewhere a little closer to home. But I think a really important part of the story is why we're still at Trinity. As you know, I haven't been your youth and household director in a few years, but we asked to be able to stay, and council was kind enough to grant that to us. And I think that's maybe the more important part of why we're still at Trinity and why it was so important for us to try and stay. And I'll just say that raising special needs kids is really hard, and it's incredibly rewarding, and there's so much joy that goes along with it, but it is also incredibly stressful, and you end up having to lend a lot of your mind and your heart and your emotion and your regulation system to your children, especially if they've gone through significant trauma. You just need to lend those things to them because they don't have the capacity to do it, at least not yet. And that can just be really, really tiring. So we're members of a lot of adoptive parent support groups, and what we've heard from many of the parents that we see there, as well as just things that we found out in foster care training, and things that social workers have told us along the day, is that one of the key indicators in how successful families are in bonding together, if they weren't together since birth, is the strong family support that the parents have. And Sarah and I moved to Boulder not having any family here. In fact, we haven't lived close to family since we graduated from college, so it'd been quite a while. And so we moved here, and we didn't know a single person, and we found our support very quickly in the community at Trinity. And I don't think it was just because I was working there too. We came on a house hunting visit as well, before I had accepted the position, or before people even knew that I was applying. And I remember being so warmly greeted and welcomed. And then afterwards, Rudy and Marlene Dichtel making sure they came over to us because we had a rose, and they knew that we were new visitors, and they came over to us and just made us feel so incredibly loved and welcomed in that community. And that feeling just grew in my time as a member of the staff there. And when I knew that my kids were, I wasn't able to give enough time to them and the church to make either one of those get the support that they needed, and I needed to choose to stop working and spend time with my kids. I could not imagine doing it without my family. And Trinity really was my family, and still continues to be my family. And so we asked council if we could stay, and I'll never forget John Chandler standing up in the middle of the council meeting. And I tried to downplay it a little bit. I didn't want anyone to be to feel like they were I guess coerced or guilted into letting us stay as members of the church. But John Chandler stood up and said, well, I can't speak for everyone, but the Bethunes are part of our family, and you don't kick out members of your family, so of course you can stay. And that touched me then, and it touches me now. And you've continued to be our family through the midst of the last several years. I can't say enough about the warmth and the support of this community, and the way I feel like I interact with God through every one of you. Every time we share a laugh or a hug in the narthex, every time somebody just asks how we're doing, um, people, when my actual family, my dad moved here. I mean, most of the furniture in his apartment is donated by Trinity members, and Tom and Jenny Marsh even came to help him move. Which, I mean, if that's not something family does, I'm not sure what else would. So we just really want you to know how much we love this community, how much of a family we consider everyone at both services, and that's why we're at Trinity, because you are our family.